Thank you, Vivina. So I didn't realize you were going to read my whole little bio there. So my first slide for the presentation, I was going to just say a few of those things, but you did a better job. Thank you very much. So as Vivina said, my name is Allison Cacciatore. I'm the Executive Director for Facilities Design and Engineering for Pharmatech Associates. Pharmatech is located in Hayward, California. However, I'm based on the East Coast in Massachusetts. So just a few quick words about Pharmatech Associates. We have what we call the Pharmatech ecosystem. We have 4 specific business units: products and process development, regulatory affairs, regulatory compliance, and facilities and capital projects. So facilities and capital projects is where I reside. What we call the ecosystem is where the intersection of all these different areas of business connect. And we provide value to our clients by where the interconnected spheres of knowledge, we all have a variety of knowledge across all the spheres, in addition to being an expert in our own area. So here's today's agenda. What I'm going to cover today includes, obviously, the introduction. Where I'm going to talk a little bit about historical delivery methods, the evolution of the types of medicines that are packaged, target markets, understanding your advantage as a drug sponsor, similarities and differences, and that's between vials and the pre-filled syringes. We'll get a little bit into vials in terms of characterization, and then pre-filled syringes. We'll talk about aseptic manufacturing requirements, and then touch a little bit on applications in 2021 beyond COVID. And then I'll just summarize what we've covered, and then we'll have some time for questions. But as Vivina said, I would like to welcome you to ask questions as we go along. Some of the concepts that we're going to be talking about are a little bit complex. And if you have questions about those topics while we're speaking, I'll take time at the end of the slides or at the end of the section to answer any questions that might pop up at that time. If we're going to cover something further along, then I may just tell you that we'll get into a little bit more detail a little later on. So as an introduction, the presentations that we're going to discuss today will be vials and pre-filled syringes. The primary difference between these two is that vials are a single submission from a regulatory perspective, and pre-filled syringes are considered a combination product. So a little later on, I'll describe what that actually means, what type of testing is required, and what you would expect to see in terms of when you're preparing the regulatory filing. But the other thing to consider is why people actually look at pre-filled syringes versus vials. And there are really 2 major reasons. One of which is the ease of delivery. So how easy is it to administer whatever your product is? And the other one is consistent accuracy. So using a pre-filled syringe eliminates the need to calculate and measure during the administration of your drug. So what we want to determine today is whether a pre-filled syringe is right for your application. So I was really interested when I started thinking about the subject matter for this webinar, and I looked back over time at the historical delivery methods. And as far back as the 1600s, bloodletting was actually the way that the medical doctors of that time thought that you could improve a patient's health. And we've learned, obviously, since then that that's not really appropriate. But as you fast forward, the bifurcated needle for smallpox, which is oh, it should be, apologies.